Hello everybody, welcome back. Today is another episode of Building a Computer. In the last episode, we did, I don't remember. Oh wait, I did some tutorials recently. Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, those tutorials, they went over some things that I was working on and some things that actually, you all might want to know. I don't know that you all could understand it or use it or anything, but yeah, you might have wanted to know those things. I don't know why. But hey, you could have. Here we are at the new computer over here. It's quite big. So I'm actually working on, well, I finished registers. There's only 4 of them. But this thing is not going to use registers for memory because the other design did, and that is actually not how computers use registers. Registers are just like a place where you store things temporarily during the processing of information. And that's what these guys are going to be doing. However, I've finished all of them. They work pretty much the same as most of the other designs I've used so far. And as you can see, I don't have them on yet, but they're doing, just sitting here, just doing absolutely nothing. Another thing is that the whole thing only uses comparators. There is no pistons in this entire build. Like, legitimately. I don't even know how I managed to do it. It's just strange. Here, I'll go over it and we'll take a look. See, it's all just comparators. Anywhere where there would need to be a piston, like on these multiplexers or those demultiplexers, and you may be wondering, why do I need demultiplexers? Well, these guys, they're gonna take the output from the register, and these are gonna allow us to control what happens to it. So in this case, I have it set to output to B, and I'm wiring all of them up right now, so I can make more registers. So, and the reason I'm making more registers here is because if you want to add 2 registers together, you can't actually activate, well, you could activate 2 registers at the same time, but if you activate 2 registers at the same time, they're both going to the same place. So we need to activate 1 register, save that register to this line, and then we need to activate another register separately and save it to this line here, which would allow us to add 2 registers together, put it back in, save it, and boom. Now, the whole logic unit is actually underneath all of this. It fits in here really good. It's tiny. Plus, I actually mixed in the multiplexer with the whole unit so I could make it even smaller. And this it's really nice down here. Like, look at all this. We got target blocks, all kinds of crazy things happening. And I've already talked about how these multiplexers work and all that stuff, so that shouldn't be too big of a surprise. Now, I do have a register that saves the carryout. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with that, if we want to demultiplex that and use it for something. I don't even know. Like, what the heck is this good for? I mean, I'll have to take a look at something, okay? And the logic gates are, well, the logic unit is basically the same as both the other previous computer designs. There is literally no difference between the actual whole unit here and the other ones. I did actually include subtraction, and I know I was talking about how we were going to do subtraction, and I think I kind of included it. There's this switch here, which basically flips where they are by using XOR gates, which is why this is a bit different in size. It's not like, if we got rid of this, it would just all be addition, no subtraction, and it would all be simple. But hey, we only need addition and subtraction in life. I don't think we need any of the other ones. I honestly can't figure out why you would need bit shifts or multiplication or division when you could just use addition and subtraction. I mean, I guess it makes it a little bit simpler if you wanted to do those, because then you don't have to create a circuit that does multiplication based on certain input. that would get really complicated to like have to hard program multiplication into your system. That's just that's not fun. So these demultiplexers have several functions that are kind of interesting. For example, this guy up here controls whether it's going to be put back into the system into some save temporary addition registers, or if it's going to be just put into the RAM or the control unit, which is going to be this one. So this one will take it to another demultiplexer, which we need a total of 3 of these guys just to make sure we can perform every single function I've put down on my list of things to do, using as few buses as possible. So the actual control unit itself is going to be able to do some inputs into the bottom of these guys, which I've already plotted out how that's going to work. They're going to just use a repeater here, and boom. Hold on, let me just go ahead and show you all. So repeater will just go into it like that, and that's how we're going to get inputs from the RAM and the actual control unit into these guys again. So if we ever want to do something with our operations and put them back into the registers, that's what we need to do. Because that is a thing that you might want to do, rather than just throwing them back into the arithmetic logic unit, which is going to do things to those numbers, rather than, you know, basically we need the ability to move data around. Some other planned features I have that are kind of, you know, I think they might be kind of interesting, are to actually have a decent, I don't know, like some kind of programming language for this thing. I mean, it's already going to have machine code that it's going to have, and I've already been doing work on that, and planning that out, and getting everything ready for that. I just haven't had actually the ability to look at all the things I need the machine code to be able to do. Well, I mean, I know what I need it to be able to do. It's just there's a lot of different things I have to address in the system, so I don't know how intricate it's gonna be when I finish. It's gonna be a little bit interesting how it's gonna work. But basically, I'll be able to take binary instructions from an interpreter to the control unit, and that will tell the machine what to do. And that will allow us to actually do programming on this thing. And then eventually, I'll actually make a compiler, which allows you to, you know, slap together code using high-level languages like C. But I'm not gonna have C. I'm gonna have something more cursed. I'm gonna have, I don't know, like Y. Just Y. Just Y, the programming language that is the best language. Why? Why did you do this? Oh, God. Okay, well, that's a good idea. Now, I'm gonna explain why all these lines are going off right now. Basically, as these activate, they weren't activated by default. They are actually changing their current state, so, you know, of the logic gates and whatever is multiplexing out. Technically, if we did addition, it would also do the same thing, basically. It's just changing the state of certain redstone lines, which is ending up being read by the multiplexer and going through the registers, no problem, because I haven't turned off the registers. If I did turn off the registers now, yeah, it kind of all just end up in the system still. The problem is now that I actually have powered all these lines into a clock, which means there's permanently going to be a redstone line that's on, and that's going to become a problem, because when I go to actually set this thing to off mode, everything is going to be still on. It's just all going to be on. In the adders, it's going to be on, and that's going to cause the thing to just keep looping forever. That's a problem. So we'll have to fix that at some point. Okay, so remember how I said that we're going to have problems with these things permanently being looped? Well, here is a solution. If we flip them over to that, boom, we take out the testing torch, lock all these, then we flip it back to B, it should pretty much be locked. And as you can see, still off. Look at this, genius. Perfect, okay. So I know you all are asking, but how exactly is the control unit gonna work? So basically, the control unit's gonna use a bunch of decoders. And if you don't know what a decoder is, basically you have a line and then you put redstone torches on it. So kind of like this thing. Except this is not a decoder. I'll go ahead and show you all an example of a decoder. So if we head off in this direction, I got my old computer builds over here. I think the first one that we see is gonna have a decoder. It's not gonna have a decoder on it. I did not use decoders back then. I only used, like, literally just registers. That's all I used. But on my last build, I actually did use a decoder. And it's these things. These things here. These are actually decoders. These ROM pieces are just decoders that are telling it what to do. Except in this decoder, we're going to be making it a big AND gate. So you have to have this line, and this line off to get this result. And, you know, having that work that way can allow us to do a few things. I will have to break down what parts of the numbers are going to be doing what. But yeah, it should actually be pretty simple to do and implement. And in concept, it's very simple. And also, I still have to build the actual RAM, which I'm thinking is going to go above the control unit, because the control unit isn't too big. The RAM's going to be huge. So yeah, this thing is going to be tall, but it's not actually very big. It's just kind of tall. So anyway, if you found this video interesting or have enjoyed today's episode, please consider liking and subscribing. If you guys got any comments, questions, or suggestions, leave them down below. I'll see you all next time, and hopefully I can actually get this done soon. Then I can move on to my next project with these